was when he played.
Oh yeah, no
Penn
doubt.
State.
Yeah, for sure.
That's right.
Yep. He is the fact that he's played quite a bit as a true freshman is it's rare, especially at his position, which it really lays a good foundation and framework for his future.
Yeah, and just Luke, maybe he's gotten a little.
Same thing. Those two guys, the fact that they're playing football at that position this time of year is really, really rare. Yeah.
What's up with the tight end's hair? It looks like it's going south in a hurry.
No, so look right here. Put this on camera. Get it on camera. This is why the tight ends, because their coach doesn't have hair, the tight ends feel like they have to do it in honor of him.
Actually, I'd like to disagree. I'd say their coach used to have hair, and they want to be like him.
Oh yeah, Google Ty Holland College and see that flow.
I remember. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Andy. Joe Smeltzer.
Yeah, Joe, good to see you, bud. How are you?
Good to see you. Doing well. How was your Christmas?
Fantastic. How was yours?
Not too bad. Would have been better if the Steelers at least came close to winning, but that didn't happen.
I can't comment on that, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So how would you assess the play of the receivers this season? What's the biggest improvement they've made from game 1 to game 14?
When you talk about them, you really could talk about all the positions because when I look at our offense, but them specifically, you see guys that are playing unselfless, which is a big deal. And then you see them improving week to week. And it doesn't always show up in the stat line, and it's really hard for receivers because running backs are almost always going to get touches. But when you look at receivers and tight ends, their stats really only show up in catches. And we got a really good tight end, so sometimes the receivers and other tight ends are doing things that open up him, right? Or vice versa. They're doubling him and opens up those other guys for opportunity. So I would tell you that they've improved every week, and they've gotten better, and they've done everything that we've asked them to do. I think the evolution for them has been as much as we've involved them in the run game, right? Like our guys get in there and they get dirty. And I was really proud of that last game. And it was one of those cold, games where you got to run the football to win. And they were going in there, they were taking their shots, and they're trying to block their ass off. And I appreciate that. So they have gotten better every week. Although it hasn't always showed up in the stat line, you can see it throughout the course of the season. Each of those guys, a lot of times, have had 100-yard games on their own. You know what I mean? And you can kind of see, how they're being used. But the fact that they're getting better every day, the fact that they're playing selflessly, is, that's why we're here, right?
Yep. What gives you the confidence that they can make a big splash in a college football playoff game?
Because I've seen them every day do it. I've seen him do it over and over again, right? I've seen him show up in big opportunities. I've seen him practice and prepare, right? So that's what's going to show up in games. You know what I mean? It's what you see in practice, and the way that they've practiced has been really impressive. As a unit, that group has practiced as well as anybody on our football team, just to consistently. And that's a group that's hard to practice because they got to run a lot. You know what I mean? And they're running a lot. And they're doing all these things, and they have done a good job. Especially those 4 guys that we talk a lot about between Amari, Julian, Liam, and Trey. Like those 4 guys have really practiced their butts off all year.
Hey, I'm David Brandt from the Associated Press.
Hey, David, how you doing?
Good to meet you.
Good to see you, man.
From the outside looking in, people sometimes get a little grumpy about quarterback play, Drew, and everything like that. How have you seen him handle that? What's impressed you about the way he just kind of keeps on keeping on, and you guys keep winning games?
Yeah, man. I tell you what, if we had a nickel for every time there was a Monday morning quarterback that said some BS stuff, we'd be all pretty rich. I think part of being a quarterback, especially at a place like Penn State, really anywhere, is how do you respond and manage criticism. It's also how do you respond and manage praise. And I think it's pretty documented. I think a lot of people who have had success at the high level, they ignore it. Either both sides, right? They don't want to listen to people tell them how bad they are. They don't want to listen to people tell them how good they are. And I think Drew has learned that. I think that's growth for every player. That's growth for every person. That's growth that I've had to go through as a coach. You can't listen to it one way or the other. The only opinions that need to matter are the ones that are on our building, because they know what's going on a daily basis. It can be really hard to block out the noise sometimes, but you got to be able to do it. And he's learned how to do that when people have been his naysayers. my favorite thing about him is his commitment to daily improvement. I mean, he is elite in that area. Like, he works really, really hard at the stuff he does, and it's one of a kind. The way he studies our call sheet and our game plans, the feedback and communication I have with him, the way he's able to manage all the stuff that we do, it is elite. It is unique.
What do you think is